Good afternoon, everybody. There are two kinds of people in the world. One who believe they are invincible, and the second who have tried walking down a staircase while texting. People fall, they sustain a fracture, and as an orthopedic surgeon, I can tell you that gravity always wins. It's very democratic. We have treated CEOs, students, grandmothers, and people often tend to break. I'm Dr. Jaiman Sharma, and today I'm here to tell you what broken bones have taught me about the hidden logic of being human. This hidden logic, I would like to divide it into three categories. There's selflessness, there's perseverance, and there's love. So selflessness. What you see on the screen right now is what a fracture looks like. On the extreme left is what happens right after an injury, and the bone eventually heals. This process of healing involves cells which come to the aid of the body, not in a selfish manner, but in a manner to heal the body as a whole. This selfless act is not just exhibited by these individual cells, it is exhibited by society as a whole. What you see on the screen right now is a healed femoral bone. For those of you who don't know what a femoral bone is, that is the bone which forms your thigh. When the anthropologist Margaret Mead was once asked, "What is the marker of a civilized society?" she referred to this particular specimen, and rightfully so. You see, when a bone breaks, it means that the person will not be able to attend to their usual chores as they would like to. A bone usually takes anywhere between 4 to 6 months to heal, and in prehistoric times, that basically meant a death sentence. What this specimen exemplifies is that somebody attended to this person. Somebody nurtured them, somebody cared for them, somebody stood by their side while they were healing. And this selfless act of care towards a fellow human forms the first logic of being human. Moving on, we go to the second logic of what it means to be human. Perseverance. Perseverance is defined as the ability to persist. You see, nobody plans a fracture. You can plan a visit to your dermatologist if you want to get a procedure done. You can plan an eye surgery if you have cataract. In a beautiful manner, you can plan having a baby. And you can predictably say what your life will look like in the next 9 to 12 months. But realistically speaking, nobody plans a fracture. People go out in the morning, they are doing their usual chores and they slip. Somebody might be going to work and they might sustain a fall and they might sustain a fracture. And when they land up in front of me, and when I tell them that they will not be able to do their normal chores and attend to their normal way of life, they're often disheartened. It is not something they planned how their day would go. They're often disheartened until they gain the strength to fight through it. And people often fight through it, and this ability is called perseverance. Recently, I had a patient who was a Japanese elderly male from a tiny island off the coast of Japan called Okinawa. Now, Okinawa is one of the 5 recognized blue zones on planet Earth. A blue zone is defined as an area where humans consistently and predictably outlive their fellow humans. When I asked this elderly male out of curiosity what was the secret to the Okinawan way of life, he introduced me to a concept called ganbate. Translated from Japanese, ganbate basically means do your best. Never give up, keep moving forward. In Japanese culture, As people often say across the world when somebody is going out for an exam, for an important job interview, for any important day in their life, people say good luck. In Japanese culture, people often say ganbate. It's a small mindset shift. Good luck basically implies that whatever you do, there is some degree of luck that lies outside of your control. This particular word puts that control within yourself. It tells you that you have the power to do whatever you set your mind to do. And this ability to persevere leads to the best outcomes in my line of work as well. You see, the patients who heal the best, who show the best outcomes after surgery, are the ones who have this ability to persist, like that Japanese elderly male. I also see this in a lot of Indian patients. People often want to get back to their livelihoods faster. And when they have this will and the energy to persist, is when they lead the most fulfilling lives. And that brings me to the third logic of what it means to be human: love. Now, we've all seen and heard this word being used and abused, and you can go that, yeah, here we go again, love. But has there been any study which says why love is so important? You see, these studies are considerably harder to perform. How do you quantify love? How do you measure the importance of love on our lives? But this is exactly what the people at Harvard did. What you see on the screen right now is the longest study on human happiness. The researchers at Harvard University divided around 700 males into two cohorts. The first cohort included of freshman students from Harvard University. The second cohort included of individuals from the local neighborhood. The researchers followed these individuals for over 80 years and then quantified what made for a happy and more fulfilling life. Can you guess what the answer was? The answer wasn't success, fame, or money. After those 80 years, the answer was relationships. It was the strength of the bonds which we individuals form. It was the strength that love gives you. In my personal life as a surgeon, I've seen this often. People who heal the fastest and the most reliable are the ones who have loved ones close by. Injuries feel less daunting. Recovery feels faster when you have somebody to attend to you. And that is the power of love. So where does that leave us? Where does that leave all of you? We all heard of these three logics, but did you hear anything new? You all knew this. I knew this. You know that you have to be selfless and more altruistic. You know you have to persevere. And as most of you know, you eventually have to love. But this is what brings me to the fourth logic of being human: ignorance. We fundamentally know all of this, but at the same time, we are ignorant because we are human. So, this is where I would leave you today. I will leave you with a quote from Mark Twain. He says, "When I was a boy of 14, I often found my father to be ignorant. When I turned 21, it was remarkable how much that man had grown in 7 years." This highlights the ignorance on our part when we sort of conflict with conventional wisdom, but eventually confine to it and realize that the truth lied in front of us throughout. So that is what I would leave you today with. I hope that all of us find the strength to tap into the virtues which make us human, to be more selfless, to be more altruistic, to persevere in times of challenges, questions. And if you all have been in love or you aspire to be, you will ultimately find that if you're selfless enough and if you persevere for long enough, you will eventually form longer lasting and more lovable relationships. Thank you for your time and attention. Thank you.